Hey folks, this is Photohelix. Don't want to create no fear or agitation, but this is very important. And anyone in the Mandela effect community, anyone in the quantum change, whatever you want to call it, awakening, I don't know. Everybody's got their own concept at this point. However, what I'm bringing to you to the table, this isn't about no changes or anything like that. This is about the reality that is going to smack us all in the face. You better get this part. Get your head out of the sand, pay attention. I would suggest highly sharing this. You all know I don't monetize my channel. I have nothing to gain from this and everything to lose maybe. I could care less one way or the other. That's pretty obvious knowing the kind of stuff I've already put out here into the public eye. Now, fact is this, folks, there is a mole in the hen house, and for those of you that don't understand that, I'm ex-military, and there are some individuals in the community, as it were, in this Mandela effect community, that aren't what they appear to be, that aren't what you think, perhaps. There are certain individuals out here that are working for FBI, CIA, different corporation agencies, alphabet soups, whatever you want to refer to it. Definitely government intervention, as it were. So here's what I'm saying. I'm not going to tell you names. I can tell you some people that aren't involved in such, but for the most part, there are some out here who are leading people astray in ways that they don't even understand. They're playing the game. They're touching on Christianity. They're touching on New Age. They're touching on all of these different areas of belief systems that are being brought forth in this Mandela effect community. Understanding right off the bat, folks, that those that can see the changes, that can see the downloads or the manipulations, whatever you want to call this, those that can see it are not the affected. You have to understand that. The global population, ballparking, is about 7 billion people. I don't know, give or take a billion. But let's just say it's 7 billion. You need to understand this, that we are the minority on a global perspective. Now, YouTube is a very small number, and most people on the earth are not involved with social media. So the numbers that are actually here in these realms of media source are very small. But overall, even though there's people out there, I'm sure, that are lost and don't know what's going on or don't have a grasp on what they're experiencing, but people are reporting everything from different loved ones to different changes and all this and that. Everybody pointing out all these different things. Fine and dandy, whatever. Point being, folks, is that you're in a small number. You're in a very small number. So, second point. First point, I'm telling you, there's somebody out here, a few people perhaps, that are basically gathering information on the Mandela effect community. Again, one of the ways that this is being done, so I'm giving you this, I will give you this much. If you're getting emails from people, now I'm not talking about links to go to a website, or if they send you a link to a chat room or whatever it is that they're doing, where people are trying to come together, forsaking not the assembling of ourselves together, right? Birds of a feather flock together, and we're small in numbers in the overall picture. So if somebody's sending you an email, one of the ways that they're doing this now is they are actually sending, I don't know, memes or pictures or whatever it is that you might be able to download. And if you download those things, you've given access to your computer. We've got documentation. We've got some proof on this. Again, I'm not going to drop names. There's no sense in bringing that out. Use your own discernment. Hopefully, if you're intelligent enough to see the changes, you might be bright enough to understand that many of the people out here claiming to be Mandela affected may not be at all. All they're doing is rehashing or re-uploading other people's finds or other people's news or whatever, and they're leading you and stringing you in different directions and letting people believe whatever they may. But ultimately, your information is being gathered. Some of the alphabets in the CIA kind of operations are basically downloading your systems. If you open one of those programs, now you know who you are and where you are, and I'm taking a chance to put this out. I think it's very important. It's vital. It's vital. It really is. Again, not to create fear, but I'm trying to give you a warning and a heads up to what's going on, which will bring me to my second point here about the population concept. You got to understand this, folks, that technically, even if there were 1 million, just say 1 million, I don't know that that's the number, maybe hundreds of thousands, but if there were 1 million people, just 1 million, that's going to be less than 1% of a 7 billion population. I mean, we talk about the 1% that has all of the wealth in the world. It's less than that that's Mandela affected. Why are they gathering the information? Well, you're not changed. You didn't take the download. You didn't switch over. You're not a part of the hive mind. All of these different concepts of reasoning. And they'll send you little links in the email to get your information, or to send you a photo or something for you to download on your system. And once you've downloaded it, they have access to your computer. They can read all of your files. This is a fact. So if you've done this, you might want to double check your systems. Unless you've got an IT super grand computer system with extra firewalls built in to catch some of these things. These are called Trojan horse programs. These are things that they can send you. You open it up thinking you're getting an information bit, and basically what you've done is give access away to your computer, even to your camera. I would suggest keeping your cameras covered when not in use as well. Most of y'all already know this and are aware of such. But again, if somebody sends you a link to a website, or a link to a channel, or a chat, or Google Hangouts, or whatever it is, those are fine. But if they're sending you something that you actually have to open to look at and download into your computer, whether it's a video file or a picture file or whatever the case may be, some attachment as it were, well, you might want to double check who all has access to that now. You may want to run some scans and some virus protection programs. And most likely they already have most of the information they need, because most people out here, unfortunately, because of this Mandela effect and because of not understanding what is actually taking place, well, many people are gullible and they're willing to latch on to anyone that says, oh, I'm a Mandela affected. Not everyone that says it is true. Second point, very important, about the population concept. I've heard a few people talking about those that are Mandela affected, speaking to the ones that really aren't, the small population, you and I and those in this community, that we are like X-Men. Some have even referred to it as X-Men, like the movie kind of deal, that we're special somehow.
Light Warrior checking in. Alright, my Mandela, my ME peeps. This video is a call to action. X-Men wanted. And when I say X-Men, I'm not discounting females. Listen, if you look out your window and you see a white sun, you're my kind of person.
People are saying that we are changing, with the New Age concept. We're changing our own reality. We're from a different planet.
So I just had a random thought about the Mandela effect, and I wanted to share it with you real quick. I was thinking, I've always thought from the perspective of myself being one of the people who stayed on this plane of existence, right? Just to explain it like that. But I never thought for a second that maybe I'm not the person that stayed. Maybe I'm one of the people who left. Maybe there are people where I come from that remember everything that I remember. And that could be the case for all of us. Maybe we came from a world that still exists somewhere else. You know what I mean? Maybe we're the aliens here. We're the people who shouldn't be here.
You better be catching this. You better get this, y'all. How long before they start rounding people up who are claiming to make the changes. Now, the government officials or whoever, maybe they think CERN did it. Maybe they think that this is the event that is causing these things, the distortions or the D-wave computers or whatever the concept or construct people are calling the awakening, the new age of Aquarius, and we're all, come on, y'all. You better get it together. I will admit there's not a lot of atheists in the Emmy community, but most people just want to refer to it as alien, off-world, or source. People don't like to retain the idea of God because, it doesn't fit with their life agenda. That's okay too, whatever. Many people that have been able to see, because of cognitive dissonance and refusal as such, have already had their eyes changed to closed. They couldn't see if they wanted to now. They've become vile and vicious even. And you know this. The people you've talked to and your families and your friends surrounding, your neighbors, spouses, whatever. People don't want you to talk about it because, there are reports that people in the Mandela effect community have already been asked to seek medical attention or psychiatric help. Now, folks, it's just a matter of time before our government starts to consider, maybe these people are different. They're given a sound mind. Why can they see these things? Why does the changes not happen? Is it the 5G hookup? Is it the cell towers? Is it the microdust or the particulates and nanodust? And who knows, y'all? There's so many different things actually taking place, and we all have our different assumptions and different beliefs and different concepts of the reality construct that we're experiencing. But the majority are becoming afraid of people like you and me, anybody that can see things the way they were. They've made changes to things. Things have been manipulated. Something has caused it, whether it's supernatural or whether it's man-made. That's irrelevant at this point. And what's the new change? Well, my A1 steak sauce used to have a dash, now it's ... Really? Yeah, that's a fact. But it doesn't really make a difference. Once you have your anchor thought, your memory, you know what's changed for you, whether it's the lion and the lamb or the wolf and the lamb or whatever the case may be. Folks, you better start paying attention. You better start knowing who you're dealing with. You better start being smart. I'm going to tell you. Because it's just a matter of time before they want to do the X-Men thing. Everybody out here saying, well, we're bringing our own reality as we think. They like to quote that scripture, what is it, as a man thinketh, so is he. And whatsoever enters a man's minds, he'll be able to achieve. And everybody wants to have positive love, light, and hey, I'm going to think all good thoughts. That's going to make all the bad world go away. It doesn't work that way, y'all. If that were the case, there wouldn't be little children being murdered in war. Look at some of these countries that are going through. You think them people are thinking bad thoughts to make that happen? No, they're victims of circumstance. And you let something hit your door. Come on. Did you create the Mandela effect by your thoughts? Of course not. It was the Mandela effect that's opened your mind and your eyes to let you see that the reality you live in is a construct that is not quite what you thought it might be. You didn't do that. You become a part of it. The awakening, if you will, the enlightenment, if you will, whatever it is, that spiritual discernment that's poured out. But very few people are understanding. They're not used to this, haven't experienced these things before, so they don't understand why their people around them are changing, or why the things are changing, why they remember things differently. Again, it's less than 1%. population if it's over 1 million people. It would take 70 million people witnessing the Mandela effect just to be 1% of 7 billion. And they're saying we're actually over 7 billion. So getting to the 1% mark, we're a very small number. So 1%, y'all, is all the wealth of the world is in 1%'s hands. When you look at all of the affected from around the world with Australia and Great Britain, and I mean, there's people reporting from all over the world and all over Africa and you name it. But all of the Mandela affected is less than 1% of the global population. if you want to go global. And then you got the whole flat and round thing. There's another division. Everybody's divided over everything. So, first point. There are people in the community right now working for government agencies. This is not a joke. And they are downloading stuff by sending you emails to get you to click on. If you've done this, you need to look. I'm not mentioning names. Y'all use your discernment. Be wise as